gardens. Today, Charlie takes on Chris to create a versatile family garden with a sporting twist for a potential Paralympian.
So this is James, Joe, Jessica and Finley.
Hello Garden Rescue, we're the Dowswell family from Coventry.
What a fantastic picture. They all look very happy there.
We need you to come and rescue our garden.
So the garden doesn't work for us at the moment because of the different levels, because of the high level of maintenance, and it's just very challenging for all of us.
It looks like there's lots of different level changes, to say the least.
Jess has a disability, so she uses a wheelchair full time. Up until now, she's been able to access the patio area of our garden, but that's it. The rest of it is inaccessible for her, unfortunately.
Looking down into the garden, there's an immediate levels change and you're not going to get a wheelchair down there.
So, yeah, the patio is a bit haphazard and it's just a bit higgledy-piggledy is the best way to describe it. The patio then leads down onto the lawn at the side of the house.
I think the challenging thing with this is just going to be connecting the back all the way around to the front and making those levels work so it's accessible for the whole family.
This is our lovely olive tree, and if you look, we've got some tiny little olives growing.
Oh, wow, that olive tree, that's fantastic.
So this spent 3 years in a pot and didn't move, didn't grow or anything. We planted it there, and it's grown into a proper tree.
Make a feature of that, definitely.
I've kind of got a feel for the garden. It's a bit difficult, but let's find out what they actually want in it.
I know Joe really wanted a magnolia tree, so it'd be lovely to have that.
And they wouldn't mind a magnolia. That could look fantastic.
Socialising is really important to us as a family, hanging out with friends, and it'd be so nice to have a garden space where we can do that in all weathers, in all temperatures, and you just bundle up, get the fire pit on, and get the marshmallows out.
Barbecue or fire bowl, yes, nice social area, that would be good, yeah.
We really like the idea, don't we, about having a nice water feature, so get some those lovely bubbly watery sounds to just help us relax a bit.
Yeah.
Ooh, a babbling brook. I can see that curving through the garden. Going to be a challenge with all these levels, though.
We have a hammock that was given to us many years ago by my dad, who passed away, and we'd like to incorporate that in the garden.
Awesome, a hammock. Who doesn't like to kick back in one of those at the end of a day? So I'm sure I can make space for that.
As a family, we play quite a lot of wheelchair basketball, particularly Finley and Jess.
Oh, I bet they're competitive.
Although the rest of the family are able-bodied, they all play wheelchair basketball and help Jess to train.
I've been playing basketball for 12 years now. I've really found basketball to be freeing and really fun and comforting. So I'm on the GB pathway at the moment. I'd love to play at the Paralympics and get on the GB team.
Ooh, I can see medals in the future there, Jess. You get practicing, girl.
This is our kind of basketball court. It's further down. It's very uneven, and in basketball you have
a lot more space.
Yeah, we want somewhere obviously more accessible. It would be great to have somewhere to train and things like that.
It's quite a good space for this basketball court, so I'm already imagining where that's going to go.
Now, the great thing about this is the budget's £6,500, so that's a nice, healthy budget. The downside is the garden's got lots of levels. We've got to make it accessible, and at the moment it's a bit of a tip, I have to say.
There's a lot going into this one. I've really got to think hard about how I make it work, but I'm excited about it.
I'm sure we might be able to come up with gold.
Their trusty team of landscapers provide the labour for free. Back in Coventry, James, Joe, Jessica and Finley have been sent the designer's pitches.
Right. James, Joe, Jessica, Finley, you wanted your garden accessible for everybody, social spaces, but most of all, a basketball court to practice on.
This is your garden, shooting hoops and chill-out groups. Now, this garden is designed for a budding Paralympian to play basketball in, and most importantly, it's addressing really difficult levels issues, making the garden accessible for the whole family.
Both designers seem to have listened to the challenging brief, but it's the details that count. So, what are their plans for the raised area by the back door into the garden?
So this is a brand new patio here. I've kept it very open and simple so that you can get a big table and chairs out there and there's still space to move around. And then I wanted to make it more attractive with planting. So this is a raised bed in this corner, and then we've got a raised bed that leads down the ramp as well.
You're going to have fun going up and down the ramps, aren't you?
Yeah.
Now you've got that fantastic olive tree here. Now it's obviously very, very happy where it is, so I'm going to leave it there. Now I know that, Joe, you're mad on magnolias. So this, it is a planter, but it's movable. It's on casters. So you can put it here or here, so dependent on how you want to use this patio space.
I like the little movable plant pot with the wheels on. It's like a little car for plants, isn't it?
From this patio, I have a ramp running down past a bigger magnolia. So you'll be able to see this magnolia from this patio and also from this seating area down the bottom of the garden.
Oh, this magnolia is beautiful.
Let's take a journey through the garden. So at the moment, this is your steps coming up towards the house, and this is your back door with that ramp going down onto the terrace. To make the budget stretchy for the whole garden, I'm keeping this patio the same, but what we're going to do is clean it all up and make the paving good and safe. There's quite a severe step down from this terrace into the garden, and from here it all slopes away. So what I want to do is bring the levels up from the back gate to this terrace to make them all the same, so a wheelchair can come all the way through.
The whole area leveled like that, that's just
That'd be amazing if that's possible.
amazing. It seems
Yeah.
impossible, doesn't it?
Stepping down here onto this pathway, alongside that is this babbling brook here, just curling along through some nice gravel with boulders, and so you'll hear the sound of running water.
That's amazing, the babbling brook.
Echo might drink the water feature.
The designs are radically different, with Charlie building a wheelchair ramp to address the tricky levels, whilst Chris wants to raise the garden to the height of the patio. Their next challenge is building a place to encourage Paralympic dreams.
Then we get to the basketball court. Popping it right here. So you've got the wall there. But what I wanted to do is just put an evergreen hedge around so that if you do miss the hoop, when the ball comes back, it's going to stop here rather than going right into the planting.
I like the hedges that will like catch the ball if I drop it. If you miss.
Yeah.
Coming through, now this is where all the fun's going to happen. This is the basketball court. So Jessica and Finley, I know you'll be on there having a bit of a shootout. This is the perfect space. We're going to use a really good sports flooring tile that's safe to use. It's great for the wheelchair.
I think the basketball court's bigger.
No excuse not to shoot hoops then.
The designers have both positioned their courts to the side of the house in the middle section of the garden. And Charlie has upped the ante with her protective hedge. But the family also want an area to relax and socialise.
And then we have this bit of the garden, which is the chill out area. So you're surrounded by planting. This is bound gravel, so again, accessible easily. It's going to be great for things to self-seed in it, so they will just naturally grow there. So things like Californian poppy, but also I want lots of daisy flowers around this area that are easy to look after. And then we've got our fire bowl, which is also a combined barbecue. So there's a grid that sits on top, and then a very simple, straightforward water feature with the water just bubbling. So we got fire and water right next door to each other. And I know, Joe, you've got a hammock. So the hammock's going here, and what I want to do is on the support posts is grow lots of scented climbers on it.
Can you imagine lying on the hammock with all those smells and the things you can see, and it'd be amazing.
Yep, no one else to get looking.
Once you're in this area, we're looking across to the family chill out zone. You can see in this image here, this is the olive tree. Put that in this space here, it's going to get a lot more sun, and it's going to be underplanted with some nice Mediterranean plants. And this will be the family fire pit area. So that's going to be nice sleeper benches. It's going to be quite wide and open, so you can pull a wheelchair in there as well.
I really like that.
Yeah.
So I think this garden, it's got everything you've asked for and it addresses some really difficult levels issues, making the garden accessible for everyone. I'd really like to see this one get built, and I've never done a basketball court, so I can't wait to get on it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
It's a garden that's easily accessible, low maintenance, colourful throughout the year, a great place as a family to spend time together or play basketball. Lots to do and lots to enjoy.
We've got a little bit of thinking to do.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Should we go and do that?
Let's go and do some thinking.
Okay.
With that, the pitches are over. Both designs are crucially dealing with the tricky level changes and delivering a basketball court. So, do the family choose Charlie's garden with a new patio and campsite chill-out space? Or Chris's plan with its babbling brook and timber benches?
I really like Chris's benching around the fire pit and the size of the basketball court. I think that works really nicely.
Yeah, Charlie's one seems more pretty, doesn't it?
This sort of camping theme, I love it because we are campers, we haven't
And I
for a while.
really like the idea of the hammock around in that area at the front.
Yeah.
Just sort of a bit more secluded.
Yes, my concerning would be around sort of a little bit of the levelling and how that would work.
I think that is a really hard decision because they're both absolutely so amazing, aren't they? In their own way.
Yeah, and they've both incorporated so much of what we were asking for and so much of what we wanted, so we've got a tough decision to make.
We have.
The pressure is on because only one design can win.
Okay, after a long, lengthy discussion, we have decided to go with Charlie's design.
It just ticks all of our boxes and all the elements that we were looking for.
This time, it's a gold medal for Charlie.
Good morning, Charlie. Well done.
Well, thank you very much. I have to say, this was a close one, wasn't it? So it could have gone either way.
Yeah, and I think, actually, it was your kind of campfire area that swung it for you today.
Yeah, I think that might have pipped you to the post, but I have to say, that babbling brook you did, I loved it. Now, I've been doing some homework on my basketball, so I think that's called a slam dunk.
Oh,
Is it?
wow.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what they call it. But why don't we go and have a cup of tea and you can dunk a biscuit instead?
Okay, that's much more up my street.
In Coventry, it's build day, and project manager Ben and his team of landscapers are ready for the challenge ahead.
Okay, team, lots going on in this garden. Patio needs to come up. Levels are terrible down there. We have to build a ramp. Andy, I've got you a beautiful porcelain slab to go down.
Lovely.
Lee,
Yeah.
see on there, quite a lot of sleepers need to go in. And then we're going to flow into the main area, which is a basketball court. You then go up to a huge self-bind area, which is just going to be their entertaining area. So, not too much to do, is it, guys?
No.
Before any hard landscaping can begin, the ground for the basketball court and family zone has to be perfectly level.
Diggers in, made a great start. So now we've just got to get all the grass up, get rid of the grass in the skip, and we've got to sort out all the levels. This garden is all over the place.
But it's not just the lower part of the garden that needs a complete overhaul.
Now, there's the existing patio already down, so I need to lift the slabs. Underneath the slab, I'm just checking what the preparation needs to be ready for a porcelain installation.
Once the old slabs are removed, the ground underneath has to be checked and prepped for the new pavers.
Patio done. All lifted in the main patio area, but as you can see, that's no good preparation for us. So we're gonna have to take quite a bit of this out, remove it, and bring in a load of sculpins, compact them ready for the porcelain installation over the top. Beautiful.
But on closer inspection, it's not that simple. The ground is completely unstable.
A bit soft there. I think we're going to need some more hardcore, mate.
The original footings have fallen away, meaning the area isn't safe.
Oh, crikey. Now, we had a lot to do. Now we've got a lot more to do.
In these circumstances, the ground will need to be fully prepped again. In this case, a mix of sand and scalpings will make a new solid base. Although this setback has slowed the boys down, the retaining walls for the wheelchair ramp are being built. The sturdy timber for this garden cost more than £600, but it's vital the ramp is structurally safe.
How we doing, boys?
Yeah,
look at this. So we're getting the main structure in.
It's a bit rocky at the moment, isn't it? It's been our temporary ramp to get to the top.
So we've gone square off of that wall.
Come down here, and then what we're going to do, we're going to replicate that there.
Yep.
And return that back to the fence.
Oh, beautiful.
So at least it gives you that.
It's like an opening to it. That's fantastic.
Having lots of room at the top and bottom of the ramp will allow Jess plenty of manoeuvrability. The ramp leads to the basketball court, another area that has to be perfectly level.
Come on, I want to shoot some hoops.
Yes.
The special flooring for the court consists of sports mesh tiles that are connectable. They cost almost £1,000 and are readily available online. They'll provide a durable and stable surface for Jess to train.
Now I've got it.
He's on.
It's been a tricky start and the landscaping is far from finished. Time for reinforcements.
It's going to be a long day, I can see it now.
I know. I'm not going to do any work because I got this.
Right, Chris, this garden today is going to be a bit like a basketball match.
Right.
It's going to be fast, full of action, and we're going to have to jump through a lot of hoops.
Yeah, you're telling me there's a lot to do, isn't there?
There is.
Speaking of that, what have you got me doing today?
Right, well, there's raised beds in the garden, but I want you to create one that's movable for that top patio area.
Okay.
I'm going to be on the campsite area, and you can also put together the hoop for the basketball.
Yeah.
But I think it's time to
bounce.
Yeah. Somebody's very excited by this. So this is going to be the campsite area. It's going to be planted up with sort of evergreens and shrubs so that you feel like you're just surrounded, like almost being in the forest. There's going to be a water feature, just a very simple one, and a fire bowl come barbecue area. So definitely very campsite-ish. So, and then you're going to wander around. Now it's going to be bound gravel. So this garden's all about making it accessible for Jess and Finley. And then we get to the basketball court. So he's jumped straight to doing the basketball court. What a surprise!
I just couldn't resist. Come on.
So it's not a full-size basketball court, but it'll be great for Jess to practice and play. We're going to have a low evergreen hedge around the sides so that if the ball rolls, it doesn't roll off down and into all the planting. And then we've got the ramp leading up to the patio. So it's nice and wide. We've got raised edges. There's going to be planting this side and also on this side. And I know Joe was really keen for a magnolia. So we've got a lovely magnolia tree going here. This is lovely. Careful, don't step on it. But I'm loving these sort of porcelain tiles, non-slip, very Mediterranean, because this area's got a bit of a Mediterranean vibe to it because we've got the olive tree that they've grown, which is lovely. So we need to do a little bit of tidying up, and I just want to, again, plant here so that this area feels a bit more enclosed and not overlooked because there are houses all the way around. So it should look lovely, but there's lots to do, and my biggest problem is going to be keeping the boys away from playing basketball and not doing any work. Oh, daisies! Oh, look at those! Oh, don't they make you smile?
Outside the garden, the plants have arrived. Charlie spent £1,200 on a plethora of perennials, shrubs and trees to fill the garden and bring a hint of the Mediterranean.
That is the feature tree. Oh, what a feature! Lovely magnolia! Oh, oh! Do you really like the magnolia?
I do really like it, thank you.
Why are we talking wheelie like
I don't
this?
know, you tell me.
Wheels!
Right.
The moving one, because Joe loves magnolias. So I thought, well, if you're going to have one, you might as well have two. So I'm thinking this other lovely magnolia in your raised bed for the patio up there.
That would be very nice.
That
So
moves.
a box on wheels.
That's the one.
Kind of, what, 60 to 80
Yeah,
centimetres?
60 to 80. Not too big, because I don't want it to be too dominant on the patio.
Yeah.
But I do want it on the patio.
Enough room for that to go in, and it can grow out.
And move, yeah.
And if they want, when it gets a bit bigger, they can always put it in a bed. And Very nice.
That's the one.
Okay.
Right, now I've got quite a complicated little cut here, all around Lee's bed on this corner. And because we're using porcelain, we don't want any wastage. So, got myself a piece of cardboard, and I'm just gonna make sure that's pretty good. Yeah, I think that's good. So hopefully Ben won't get the cut wrong. There you go, Ben. That's what we want.
The porcelain pavers for the patio cost £1,100, but once finished, they'll make the area feel sleek and contemporary. Although cutting them to Andy's exacting standards isn't easy.
It's good, mate. Just wants the tiniest nib off there.
The template was wrong.
The template might have been just slightly.
So I didn't do it wrong.
So take my advice. It's better to do it twice than do it wrong.
Oh, steady, Eddie.
Charlie's special rolling planter is coming together slowly. So I've got a base in, first layer, and then I'm going to go 2 more up, and it'll just be the perfect size for that magnolia tree. Now, the best thing about this, I mean, it's really simple. It's just 6x1 timber and some 4-inch posts, because they need to be really strong to hold the wheels underneath. And it's something anybody could do at home, to be honest. It's just really nice, and the best thing about it is you'll be able to wheel it around the patio, move it wherever you want it, and I think it looks quite clean and tidy. So, I've already made one box section here, and then I'll get the last ones going on top, and then it'll be time for the wheels.
Come down to this end of the garden, and I've got this great little barbecue thing. It's like a tripod with a grill bit that you cook on. It's a kit form. It's fun. I might not be saying that when I'm trying to put it together, but it just all adds to the atmosphere of the campsite vibe. Kits, they're nice and easy. Always read the instructions, but we don't, do we? We start doing it and then realise we should read the instructions. So I am going to read the instructions.
The fire bowl and tripod hanging grill cost around £120, but they'll keep the family entertained and warm all year round.
So, ooh, look at that! And adjust the height when you're cooking so you don't burn your sausages. I like that, that's fun.
At the front of the house, the mobile magnolia planter is being finished with casters.
Now, they're really good. You can see how simple it is. It's just 4 screws in each corner. I've just got them so they go into the big 4-inch post, so it's nice and secure. I think it's going to glide like a dream. Let's get these wheels in motion. It works really well. And what's really nice about it is because the wheels are set slightly in underneath, you get a really nice shadow gap. You can't actually see it that well now, but when it's on the patio with a really light porcelain, this nice shadow gap underneath will really stand out and it'll make the planter look like it's floating.
At the other end of the garden by the patio, Charlie's design features a raised bed planter to border the pavers, but the level change is an issue that needs addressing.
As you can see, it's a drop down of about 3-4 foot. I do want to tidy up this area here because this patio area's got a sort of bit of a Mediterranean vibe to it. One, because Joe and James planted what was a small little olive. It's really, really happy there, so I don't want to move it. But the other slight problem, And this is when, you know, you have an old garden that has sort of got away from you. You can get perennial weeds. Now, there's two ways of sort of tackling it. You could dig them all out, hard work, but what you need to do is do that for at least a year. Keep the border totally clear of weeds, so it's just soil for a whole year. If you're happy to use a weed killer, then you can weed kill it and then still leave it for a year. Or what you can do is put a blinding layer and then put weed suppressant matting and then build a raised bed on top, which is what we're going to do here.
A blinding layer is usually a thin mix of sand and concrete used in construction. In this case, it'll help compact the membrane down and build the raised bed up so the high patio is instantly bordered with plants.
So this is really, really tough weed suppressant matting or membrane. It will let water run through it, but roots can't come up through it. I'm going to put it a double layer. Then I'm putting a blinding layer down, which is basically a layer of rubble, anything like that. Then another layer of this, and then some more weed suppressant matting. So it's sort of definitely belt and braces. Right, I've cleared this, Lee. Yeah. So I need to get this weed suppressant matting down. You cut the timber.
My favourite part of the garden, the basketball court, is soon to be complete once I build the new hoop for them. So this thing is absolutely massive. It's going to be set to 10 foot, which is a kind of standard. So it's really important to get that right. So I'm going to open it up and see how it goes. Look at that.
The basketball kit cost £150, and perhaps it will help Jess on her way to becoming a gold medal para-Olympian.
I think I need a time out after making this.
Back by the patio, the raised bed is now built and ready for the blinding layer.
Paul's brought the scalpins, yippee! Unfortunately, Paul, I think there's going to have to be another wheelbarrow load, mate.
Yeah, I thought that might be the case.
Because it's ever so easy getting it here. Not. So that's my blinding layer.
With the scalpings bulking out the bed, it's finished with a compost layer to match the height of the patio.
Right, I think that one there. Now this bed's all prepared now, ready to be planted up, and it should be a joy to plant. Now this part of the garden, full sunshine nearly all the day. It's raised up, so it's going to be very free draining. So it's going to be ideal for Mediterranean plants. That's why this olive is doing so well here. So picking up on the Mediterranean theme, I've got Pittosporum tubera. So it's evergreen, has a really nice shape to it. It stays quite rounded, but the scent of it is absolutely gorgeous. Lavender, we all love lavenders. But then one of my favourite is this Cistus purpureus Alan Frad. It has big sort of bowl-shaped white flowers, but they look like they've been crumpled up. They're very delicate, and at the base of each petal is a red maroon spot, and then there's loads of yellow anthers in there. So it's really pretty. And they're evergreen as well, so they're going to sort of create a screen here so it'll hide the shed.
I'm just about to plant Charlie's feature tree of the garden. Now this is a Magnolia solangiana, and these things get really big. They have a nice canopy that will kind of hang out over this space, and the best thing about it is you get really lovely dappled shade. But in the spring, you'll get those huge kind of saucer-like pink and white flowers, and they'll just be covering the whole tree, so it'll be really impressive that time of year. Now, this kind of bed setup that we've got here is a bit interesting because the whole garden slopes away quite severely down to a retaining wall which drops down to the street. So Charlie's put this ramp in here with some nice edge protection on it, so the wheelchair's safe going down the ramp, but we're not going to build the soil level up behind it just because it's impossible to do with the retaining wall and the fence. So that means everything in here is going to be a good size, like this magnolia and some of the other shrubs we have there, the pittosporum. So they'll grow up behind the raised bed and really fill it out.
This feature magnolia wasn't cheap at £200. Buying mature trees rather than saplings is pricey, but they add instant impact to any garden.
Now, another of Jo's requests was she would love to have a hammock in the garden, so it sort of fits with the campsite area, but we want to make it not too high, not too low. So yeah, we're now sort of working out where the posts are going. So we're going to get that post in first, and then we're going to get this one in and see, because we don't want the hammock over the fire bowl because that could be a little too warm. So there might be a little bit of rejigging going on down here.
This hammock was a gift from Jo's dad, and on average, when hanging one, 18 feet or just more than 5 metres is a safe bet between the uprights. It's also vitally important to use a proper hanging kit so it's safe.
I'm not testing it, I'm not that brave.
Now I'm in my favourite part of the garden, the basketball court. It's all coming together, the matting's down, the hoop's up, and now we're going to frame it with this lovely evergreen hedge. So what I'm planting is Euonymus japonicus, green spire, this one's called, but there's lots of different types. And it's particularly small leaf, it's really glossy, nice dark leaves. They're pretty much bomb-proof, they're super tough, so they're perfect for this situation. Perfect. Now, once these are all spaced out and in properly, it really won't take long for them to fill out and form a nice hedge. And then you can get all those nice, clean lines that I really love.
Self-bind gravel that set the budget back £330 is being used throughout the garden, both on the ramp and in the campsite zone. Once in place, a tamping machine is needed to compact it.
Now, one plant that I do love is perennial pea. Now, they self-climb, so it'll climb up the fence. They get to about 2.5 metres, and you get these lovely pea flowers on them, and they come in white, pale pink and dark sort of cerise pink. They're really, really pretty, and there's no reason why you shouldn't grow a few annual sweet peas in amongst them, but this will put up with being slightly shady, won't mind the basketball bashing against it occasionally, so perfect for this space.
Away from the basketball court and up on the patio, there's good news. Andy's finally finished laying the pavers.
Oh. Do you want to do the honours since this is your patio? Oh! Whoops. Now, the mini feature magnolia, portable magnolia as it's now going to be, it's going to go in here, and then I'm just going to underplant it with 2 calaminfa because they're really nice and sprawly, so they'll kind of fill out the planter and hang over. And the best thing about them is you get a really nice scent as well.
The planter has drainage holes at the bottom, but it's also been lined to retain moisture and prolong the timber's life.
You want to make sure you press the compost in really tight, because if you don't, it stays really fluffy and over time it will just sink. So you want to make sure you always pack your soil and compost in new planting beds. I'll just get the other plants and we'll be done. So I'm going to plant these 2 at the front here, and then they'll sprawl out over, and I'll twist it so it's kind of facing into the patio.
Screams the neighbours, it's a magnolia, it's movable, so if they got all the family round and they need a big party table, it could just move this way or that way.
It's been a frantic day with a few added challenges. But as the final details are positioned, the garden ties together and the team are finished.
Well done, Charlie. This has been quite tough.
And we did have to jump through hoops.
I know, there's ups and downs. But now, look at it.
I am really pleased. I was worried at one bit because there was so much to do, but now this area, barbecuing, got the water feature, and your basketball area, I mean, Jess is going to love it, I am sure. But I have to say, I bet Finley's going to be down here going, all right, sis, I'll come and play.
Yeah, I think so. And a lot of time went into this, but it's kind of what the garden's all about, isn't it?
And it's about accessibility. So now Jess can get down here on her own.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad can be up on the patio with their friends and family.
I really like that patio area because it looked really dull and drab, and you've kind of really lightened the whole space up. It looks really modern. Yeah.
Right then, you've been a good boy, and I did promise. So bounce to you.
Right, this is my time to shine.
Okay.
It's what we've all been waiting for, the moment of truth.
Yes! Well done. Come on, let's go and show them.
Let's go get him.
When the team arrived, this unusual garden with its tricky levels was unloved and impractical, but most importantly, it couldn't be enjoyed by Jess. But after working with a £6,500 budget, it's been transformed into a multi-purpose space for the whole family to enjoy. From the back door, there's a new contemporary patio surrounded by Mediterranean-inspired planting and a movable magnolia. A wheelchair ramp bordered with lush planting offers Jess access to the rest of the garden for the first time. From there, the basketball court adds an element of fun and could make Paralympic dreams come true. Finally, there's the campsite chill-out area, complete with a hammock, fire bowl and barbecue, plus a babbling water feature. But will James, Joe, Finley and Jess give it a gold medal?
Do you want to open your eyes?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
It's completely different.
Yeah?
Oh,
Do you think the patio looks a little bit more cheery?
Yeah.
really amazing. Oh, I love these.
Lots of daisies.
That's amazing.
They make you smile, don't they? Yeah. And I know, Joe, you were really keen on magnolias. Yeah. So, Chris has been really busy on this movable magnolia, so you can move it in front of your window in the spring when it's not so bright.
I'm really pleased they love my planter, because we've got that magnolia and the other big one. And it's just kind of a bit of a quirky, simple feature that anyone can do, but the fact that you can make the space changeable is great.
Your olive tree is beautiful.
It's not leaning anymore.
It's funny you should say that, because we haven't done anything to it other than trimmed it up slightly and planted things.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So it's doing very well.
It looks lovely.
Can't believe they thought that we made the olive not wonky anymore. It's really good. Just a little bit of clever pruning from Charlie and she's made a really big difference in this space.
So do you want to explore the rest of the garden?
Yes.
Yes. Come on then, you can get there now.
Oh, wow.
And how is the ramp?
It's amazing. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah?
Get to the garden.
I can, yeah.
Yeah, you can get to the garden. I know you're itching to get to here.
This ramp has made such a big difference to the garden. Before, Jess couldn't even get down there smoothly. She couldn't go at all. It was just a big drop. So this is a really kind of transformational part of the garden.
Come in a bit closer, guys. Yeah, so this is...
The basketball court.
Yeah, it's not full size, but great surface. What's that called? A hoop?
Yeah.
Yeah, a hoop.
Yeah.
I've been learning a lot about basketball today. Nice court. Not also, we got the hedge here. At the moment it's quite low, but it will cut up to here, evergreen. So it does mean that the ball won't be rolling off and into the planting.
Now, Jess and Finn are desperate to get on the basketball court, obviously, but they need to have a little look further around the garden first. And that's kind of where all the magic starts to happen and it all comes together.
Quick, come and see the other bit of the garden, the last bit, which I'm sure you'll enjoy as well.
Wow.
What do you think? Wow. The hammock's in.
Wow.
I'm so happy.
Clearly, James and Joe can't wait to get in the hammock.
Lovely fire bowl that you can barbecue on.
Yeah.
That goes up and down, so there's no burning the sausages now, James.
You heard about that.
Water feature bubbling away, birds will come there, so yeah.
It was so important for them to have the sound of water in the garden, so just this really simple bowl, which you can pick up quite cheaply online, and a little pump makes all the difference, and you can even hear the sound right back on the main patio or anywhere in the garden, so it's really effective.
Are you keen to have a go?
Yes, I am.
Right, well, all the guys have signed it for you.
Oh.
Wow.
So, are you going to show us how it's done? Here we go.
Pressure's on.
No, it's all right. Oh, it works then. The
it's
surface works well.
good.
We didn't do that. Oh, yes! Ooh. Chris's was all right. Yours was better.
I thought I was good, but I'm not Team GP good. That was so impressive. Well done, Jess.
So what do you think, guys?
It's great.
Amazing.
Really amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Going to use it more?
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm so happy to see the hammock in place. I'm
hammock.
so we're going to be fighting over that, aren't we?
Okay, might have caused a few ructions in the family here.
And the fire pit, absolutely love that. Yes.
I mean, all in all, this garden, there was a lot of challenges in there, crazy levels, quite difficult for the team, but everyone's worked so hard to put it together, and Charlie's design, it's just flawless. It's so impressive, so well done, Charlie, and I really hope they enjoy it for a long time.
So there was a few hiccups along the way.
You've had a challenge on
A
your
challenge,
hands.
but I'm glad that you love it, and I hope you get to use it lots and lots with all the family as friends as well.
We will. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.